गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुदेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव।
So to begin with, I will begin within 2 minutes and I'll complete it, then I will request Swami Dayananda to get ready. Pujya Swamiji taught us to use very few words and convey a lot just by using very few words. Swamiji, keeping that in view, I would say that a holy man all the time reveled in unfolding the whole without leaving any holes. This is what I can say about Swamiji. A holy man all the time reveled in unfolding the whole without leaving any holes. Of course, with lot of accommodation and compassion. We are just obliged and ever grateful for his love and teachings. Swami Dayananda, please come and take over. After Swami Dayananda, I request Swami Dayananda to get ready.
Sri Guru Namaha. You know, at the workplace, they have what is known as a leave donation program. If people don't have enough leave, they send out a mass email asking people who have leave to donate leave. So I'm going to ask all the people who are going to speak and given 3 minutes time, donate some time. Because I don't think I'll be able to done in 3 minutes. Unless he drags me physically out of it. So any volunteers? You know, the hallmark of the article that the correspondent, Indian Express correspondent, Sri Guru Murthy, wrote as an obituary. Towards the end of that article, thank you. You can hear me now? Sri Guru Murthy wrote at the end of the article a very catchy phrase. He said the hallmark of Pujya Swamiji is his humility. Nobody knew what all he has done or what all he did. It was never his concern it was never his priority, never in his agenda to project himself. And that's why his parting words in this hall, as he was leaving for the airport to take the air ambulance to Rishikesh, he said, I have no qualifications. So I just want to address that a little bit. In 2010, we prepared a nomination package for the Templeton Award for Pujya Swamiji. He didn't get that award, but that's a different matter. But in the process, we put together, meaning there are under Swami Dayananda, Sudhakar, Shankar and Anand, we put together a curriculum vitae for Buddhism. A resume. I will tell you, it was a pleasurable task and also a daunting task. This is about 7 pages. And of course, with the effort, we have to condense it. And this is 2010. I have not had the time to update it. If I had updated it, it will probably be double this number. And this list, in a chronological order, all the work Swamiji had done till 2010. It's much more than what you, as Sudatmaji said, that he was trying very hard to convey in a few minutes. This has everything. But I'm not going to read this to you, because then I have to take 3 minutes from all the Swamis sitting here. So that won't be enough. But I just want to point out one thing. The contributions in terms of the teaching. Okay? In the resume you always attach a publication list. And we couldn't really do this in a normal manner because it ran into pages. So rather we took a different approach. I tell you, a lot of thought went into this. I had some brilliant minds helping me, people who have PhDs in operations research, to condense what Pujya Swamiji has done in a presentable form. So just allow me to read this to you. This is a tabular form of his contributions in terms of teaching, organized topically. Topics for 8 families. Total number of books 54. Total number of videos and titles 43. The hours contained in those videos is 340 hours. Vedanta and Upanishads. Total number of books 42. Audios 204. Total number of hours 3,636 hours. We have an Excel macro to generate this data, so don't just underestimate this data. This is done with a lot of precision. Preservation of cultures and cultural diversity. Total number of books 10, audios and videos 48, number of hours 376. Holistic body-mind health, addressing that. 4 books, 25 CDs, 240 hours. Mind-boggling. Youth and children, 24 books, 3 audios, videos, 19 hours. Contemporary issues, 4 books, total number of hours, 81. Global religious diversity, book 1, total number of hours, 28. Now the next table. The public talks that Pujya Swamiji has given from 1967 to 2009. I haven't updated it as I told you. Are you ready for this one? 1967 to 69. 652 days of public talks. Percentage of the days of the period covered, 60%. 1970 to 79, 1,261 public talks. 1980 to 89, 905 public talks. 1990 to 1999, 1,062 public talks. 2000 to 2009, 974 public talks. I'm sure you didn't know all this. And this is a man who says he didn't have any qualifications. It is the understatement of the century, perhaps the understatement of the yuga. You cannot believe what he has accomplished. Swami Dayananda said in his concluding statement in the last class, a Nijaveda mantra, inviting noble thoughts into the mind. You think of Swamiji, noble thoughts will run coming to you. I want to read just a phrase. It is easy to say. I'm saying for myself, I'm not saying for any of you. It is easy for me to say Swamiji is a Mahatma, and I can get away with it. I don't want to do that. I have a job that I have taken from his parting words. Parting words means the anniversary message of this year. And of course, Sri Sudatma said how the paucity of words that he uses. You yearn the anugraha, you need grace. His whole theme for his visit, which he made with a lot of trouble to see us all and bless us all, his words all the time that he was saying grace, grace, grace. In this hall it was reverberating. Grace, grace, nothing but grace, 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 nothing but grace. And this is what he says. How do you earn that grace? You earn the anugraha of Guru by seva in the form of regular shravana. Underline the word regular. Not in once in 2 weeks coming for a Gita weekend class. Regular shravana. And next is the catch. And participating in the entire program run by the Guru. I read out to you all the CDs and audios and books. So you won't have lack of material to do shravana. So after this visit, after the sumptuous lunch, visit Prasannaji in the bookstore. There are enough books. And here I'm going to, with his pardon, differ from Swami Dayananda. Take those books, buy those books, put it in your shelf. Even if you don't read it today, you will read it tomorrow. Chandramauli, a great devotee of Swamiji, told me once, Atma Jnanam begins as shelf knowledge. Then it becomes self-knowledge. Start with that. Buy the books. You have, buy the CDs. Our bookstore has enough of them. Buy them. Listen to them. You will have enough material to do Shravanam for rest of, I will have enough material to do Shravanam for rest of my life. Participate in these activities. I didn't read that in that 7-page curriculum vitae. All the activities, programs that he has started, they are not going to stop. They all will go on because we are inspired by him. So participate in those programs. If you want an opportunity to participate, I will tell you. October 31st, we are doing a project. It's the 10th anniversary of the project called Oduvar Project. Supporting some unknown people who sing hymns in Tamil and Tamil Nadu in Saivite temples as part of the temple worship. Pujya Swamiji revived that culture which was going extinct 10 years ago. We have been fortunate to do that. This is the 10th anniversary. Unfortunately, we don't have Swamiji's message this year, but he will be there. We told him what we are doing. He blessed us. And he told me just one word. I asked him, I think out of my stupidity, Swamiji, should we do this? He didn't say, you do it. This is his greatness, I said. He didn't tell me, you do it. He said, it has to be done. That's it. It's like a slap on my face. I go there, Swamiji, can I do it? Yeah, please do it. It has to be done. So we are doing it. If you want to earn some grace, please attend that program on October 31st. Guru Bhivanam.
Thank you, Swaminathanji. Extra minutes were very well utilized. Thank you very much. And you can imagine all the statistics that Swaminathanji gave, how much tremendous energy and store of knowledge Swamiji had. Okay, next we'll go on to move to the next program. Our Swami Sri Dayanandaji. Please come on. And after that, I request Swami Dayanandaji to get ready. Thank you.
Namaskaram to all of you. Earlier this morning, there was a subdued silence in the hall. Perhaps reflected our sentiments connected with an ending. We should perhaps look at what the Shastras say about an ending. When our acharyas talk about Karya-Karana Bhava, cause-effect relationship, they cite the example of heavy rain, which starts with one drop at a time. Similarly, when there are a series of causes, one being the consequence in the sequence of a previous condition, we cannot say something started or ended. So too, in the journey of life, which has been occurring since time immemorial, each lifetime becomes a significant sojourn, a place where one stops briefly for a duration. When that lifespan elapses, one moves on to begin yet another life, and the journey continues. If that be so, if endings symbolize beginnings, then why should the heart grieve over an ending? On the final day of Pujya Sri Swamiji's darshan in this hall, Swamiji spoke for almost 20 minutes, slowly, between long pauses. The opening sentence was from the Bhagavad Gita. Jatasi hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma pratyasya cha tasmat apariharyate na tvam shochitum arhasi. For that which is born, death is certain. And for that which is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, you ought not to grieve over that which cannot be altered. In the same talk, Pujya Swamiji referred to his upadhi as an extraordinary one. This particular ending we are faced with is of that extraordinary upadhi. Pujya Swamiji has attained Videha Mukti, has become one with the timeless. That means there is no returning. And that is why this ending causes grief, because it will not be followed by another beginning. Where did that exemplary Acharya of Advaita Vedanta, who circled the globe relentlessly all through his life, disseminating the knowledge of the rishis, go? Where is that epitome of selfless seva, whose benevolence flowed unhindered wherever and whenever and to whomsoever it was needed? That personification of Daya, where is he? Did Swamiji really go away, never to return? Is that ever possible? Yes, it is possible. If there is such a thing as an end to knowledge, if there is such a thing as cessation of seva, that comes from the fullness of the heart. If there is such a thing as something that brings empathy to a standstill. But then there are no such things. There cannot be, because they are the dynamic expressions of that reality which is timeless. Therefore, Swamiji's presence will continue to abide for all time to come. Wherever there is knowledge, wherever there is seva, wherever there is empathy. In that sense, endings do symbolize beginnings. This auditorium, which Swamiji loved so very much, and in which he spent endless hours, will it ever be the same? That imposing voice unraveling the message of the Shastras, the spontaneous jokes, the bubbling laughter, the lively bhajans, will they ever return? No, they cannot, because they have not gone down the river of no return. Where can they go? Listen with all your attention. You can hear that majestic voice, the contagious laughter, the cheerful bhajans echo in this hallowed sanctum through the voices of his Acharya disciples. In that sense, endings do symbolize beginnings. Before Puja Swamiji bade us farewell here in this very hall, his words were, "There is perpetuation. Nothing seems to finish. I will always be with you." In that sense, endings do symbolize beginnings. Puja Swamiji was Purna, and he continued to give Purna Ashirvadam all through his life. It is indeed a saving grace that we were blessed to have been in his Sannidhi. If an Acharya has any expectations, it is only to see his disciples progress in the pursuit of knowledge. So, as a fitting tribute, let us offer immense gratitude to Swamiji by imbibing the teachings with whatever wherewithal we have. Let us, with prayerful devotion, invoke Puja Sri Swamiji to abide in our hearts and continue to guide us always and in all ways.
Thank you, Samunima. Beautifully pointing out, even though Puja Swamiji is not available in physical form, but his teachings, his compassion, his love, and his guidance continue to be there with all of us. Okay, we'll move on to the next, Swami Tadatmananji. After that, I request Swami Vilatanji to get ready. Thank you.
Om Dayananda Rupam Acharyam Ide. My Guru, Puja Swami Dayananda, I revere, I pray, I worship. I'll speak more closely, thank you. To keep my comments short, I'll just speak of one aspect of Puja Swami Dayananda's greatness. And that aspect is his legacy, what he has left behind, what he has left for all of us not just here in this beautiful hall, but all of us around the world. What has he left? What is his legacy? And how to even begin to describe it? We can talk about his Aim for Seva project, we can talk about his Acharya Sabha, we can talk about his meeting with Prime Minister Modi, we can talk about so much. But perhaps we can see most vividly his legacy right here in this lecture hall. And when I say in this lecture hall, I don't mean the physical building. Certainly his legacy includes this beautiful Arsha Vidya Gurukula, the equally beautiful Arsha Vidya Gurukula near Coimbatore, and the equally beautiful Swami Dayananda Ashram on the banks of the Ganga in Rishikesh. But his legacy can't be measured in terms of buildings or facilities. You know that very well. What makes each of these institutions great are those within those institutions. When we speak of Puja Swamiji's legacy, the most obvious thing, not the only thing, be patient, not the only thing, but the most obvious thing that comes to mind when we speak of his legacy are his many disciples who are teaching in India, in this country, and around the world. These are disciples who have been rigorously trained by attending perhaps one or more of his long-term courses he conducted in the 1970s in Mumbai, courses that he conducted in the 1980s in this country, courses that he conducted in the 1990s and 2000s in India again, in his Coimbatore ashram. In these courses, hundreds of students attended, and to date, approximately 250 of those students have been initiated as sannyasis, as sannyasinis, some of whom we see before us today. And in this country and around the world, the teachers he has trained will be carrying on this lineage, and in particular, how to describe Puja Swamiji's style of teaching, his approach to teaching, which on the one hand is deeply rooted in the scholarship of Shankaracharya and all in that lineage, but it's not narrowly confined to that lineage. One quick anecdote, and I will make an effort to keep my comments short, but one time, decades ago, Puja Swamiji was asked, are you a follower of Shankaracharya? Most certainly he is. Of modern teachers, if there's anyone who embodies the teaching of Sri Shankara, it certainly is Puja Swamiji. Somebody then asked him a very challenging question. He said, suppose someone could find a defect in the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, then what? Of course, we all understand, in 1,200 years, no one has really found a real defect in Shankaracharya's teachings. No one's likely to find one, but someone presented that hypothetical question. Suppose someone is able to point out a defect in Shankara's teachings. Puja Swamiji said, no problem. I'm not devoted to Sri Shankaracharya, I'm devoted to truth. And he unfolded that truth unwaveringly throughout his life. That transmission that began with the ancient rishis, that continued with Sri Shankaracharya, which was present in the form of Puja Swami Dayananda, blessing us for 5-6 decades, is now present in this current generation of teachers, 250 sannyasi disciples and others. And by the way, those sannyasi disciples, including perhaps half of them sannyasinis, female sannyasis, what a wonderful thing. But that's not all. That's still just a small part of his legacy. I said that legacy is present in this room. There's just a handful of sannyasis and sannyasinis in this room. The vast majority of those who are in this room follow you, and without doubt, you also are part of his legacy. And what I mean by that is that what he has taught has gone in to each and every one of you. And in the most profound and meaningful way, in that his teachings have molded us, have transformed us, have gone into our hearts in such a way that it comes out through our words, through our behavior, in our attitudes. We are blessed, we are all transformed by what he has taught us, and we all feel such a terrible loss of Pujya Swamiji's physical presence. But the most important aspect of who he was, which you'd all agree was his teachings. His teachings live on today in each and every one of us as vividly as they ever had. He lives today through us in a form of his teachings. In that sense, Pujya Swamiji will forever be with us. I have no doubt that in coming generations will look at Pujya Swamiji's legacy, the disciples he trained, and the countless students he taught, and the institutions he left behind. Future generations will look back on this, and they'll write books, and in those books, without doubt, they will talk of and describe the glory and wonder of the Arsha Vidya Sampradaya. This is an important, the main part of Pujya Swamiji's legacy, and all of us comprise that Sampradaya. Sampradaya meaning tradition. We are all blessed to be part of that tradition. To conclude, since this, we all come with heaviness in our hearts, and we're trying to find words to describe the greatness of a Mahatma for whom words aren't enough. So to allow me to share with you a humorous anecdote just to finish. A wonderful moment. I had the blessing of being with Pujya Swamiji in Rishikesh in the last few weeks. And at that time, he had, for a while, he had stopped his kidney dialysis. And he was very weak and feeble, and yet he would come and address us once a day. We'd all gather around, and in a weak, feeble voice he spoke. And at one point he explained that in the absence of his dialysis, that there was a buildup of, he was giving us all these details. In the absence of his dialysis, there was a buildup of potassium in his body, which resulted in itching everywhere on his body. He was itching. Now, before I tell the rest of this anecdote, I need to remind you that in the last weeks and months of his life, we heard him speak of grace again and again and again. Ishvara Anugraha, God's blessings for us all, Ishvara's blessings for us all, and the many, many ways in which that Anugraha, those blessings, were manifest. So he would explain to us that with the buildup of potassium in his body, he was experiencing itching all over his body, but he had grown too physically weak to actually manipulate his arms so that he could scratch himself. So he became dependent on his attendants. There were a number of brahmacharis and sannyasis taking care of him. He depended on his attendants to scratch him when he itched. He was too weak to do so. His comment to us, and we all roared in laughter. He explained to us, you know what? It takes Ishvara's grace. It takes a lot of blessings, anugraha, to have them scratch in the right place. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, Swamiji, making it movement very light. Very rightly pointed out, Swamiji left behind a lot of legacy. By that, he becomes legend. So, how can one forget the legendary figure? Thank you, Swamiji. And Swamiji was very fortunate enough to be in Rishikesh with the last day of Puja Swamiji. So, thank you, Swamiji, for sharing your personal experience that you had in Rishikesh. Next, I request Swami Vilasanandaji to come here and say a few words. And after that, I request Swami Jyotirmayanji to get ready. 3 minutes. Thank you.
Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. In 2013, I came to Sisu Puja Swamiji and asked him for a message to take back with me for the Argentine students. And he said, you keep studying Vedanta. The study of Vedanta never ends. When you think you have understood Vedanta, you find that you have not understood it. So you keep on studying Vedanta. And then he said, Vedanta doesn't teach you anything. Vedanta helps you to assimilate life. Life teaches you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Good you finding out Puja Swamiji's title. You are the problem, you are the solution. Thank you. So next Swami Jyotirmayanji, please come and say a few words.
Friends, to me, Puja Swamiji's name itself stands for his life and teachings, and in a nutshell, Vedanta. You know his name. He was embodiment of humility, embodiment of compassion, and embodiment of joy. This is what I mean by his life and teachings in Vedanta for me. I think that should be enough for me. And then, having said this, today morning when I was coming this side towards the temple, I saw all the devotees were in great joy and attending to so many things here, including Mala and all that. I thought it was a festivity. Then immediately I remembered, I am not a Sanskrit scholar, but then I remembered a sloka. It is in what's called Pandava Gita. Some of you may be knowing. Nityotsavo bhavet tesham nitya shri nitya mangalam esham hridistito bhagavan mangalaya tanam bhari. Mangalaya tanam bhari. Every day is a festivity, every day is a festival, every day is auspiciousness, every day brings welfare to those in whose hearts is established Hari, the divine reality. And that's what Swamiji was, and that's why we feel that joy. And that is what he was, embodiment of compassion and embodiment of humility. Having said this, he was so kind in the 150th birth anniversary when a book was to be brought out, the 7th edition of my book, 6th edition of my book on Vivekananda. He was kind enough to motivate me and in fact blessed that book with a benediction. And he encouraged me. And I will place before you those lines. There's a prized position for me. And I have written a few lines about him and I'll just place it before you as it is. It's in my book. The book contains about 1064 pages. The new edition of a book on Vivekananda commemorates the 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And the benevolence of Pujya Swamiji, whose perceptive and gracious benediction adorns this book. We are indeed beholden to him for his loving kindness and patronage to our humble endeavors in disseminating the message of Vivekananda. And we take this opportunity to remember with gratitude the laudable work Pujya Swamiji has been rendering in disseminating the traditional Vedic knowledge, both in the East and the West. And these following lines you will find in my book. Pujya Swamiji is undoubtedly one of the greatest teachers of Vedanta in modern times. A teacher of teachers, Pujya Swamiji has turned out more than 200 disciples who are sannyasins and are highly respected as scholars and teachers in his tradition. In addition to the teachings, Pujya Swamiji has initiated and supported various philanthropic efforts through the, as you know, All India Movement for Seva. But the greatest contribution of Pujya Swamiji has been the creation of Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, which has emerged as the legitimate voice of the Hindus at the global level. Having said this, I must tell you also, he gave me a rare opportunity to prepare a directory of Acharya Sabha. You know, I'm like a crab. Any idea given, I catch it, and until it is over, I don't stop. So the moment he said, he asked me to go to India, I was here at that time. Then I went around 23 states of our country after 29. Mind you, I was given 3 months time and had to meet 114 acharyas who are the members of that Sabha. If I had taken 2 days, it would have taken 6 months. So I had to go like Hanuman, jump from the state to state. You will not believe it. Except swimming and cycling, I did everything. By plane, by road, by auto, by walking somewhere in other place where there are hilly states, there are no vehicles. And within 3 months, I covered 114 acharyas spread over 23 states. So imagine, you know the map of our country. Suppose there were 3 ladders. One from Kerala, from Kerala to Kashmir, another ladder from Kashmir to Assam, and another ladder from Assam to Kerala. So you can imagine, I climbed the ladder up to Kashmir and then to Assam and then to Kerala. It is a long story. But then he gave me a rare opportunity, and after 3 months too, I came with one suitcase full of material and some 2,000 photographs, and as a result we have a directory which is available about the Acharya Sabha. And Swamiji complimented me when he said, I said, Swamiji, it is all because of your kindness. You gave me, all credit goes to you. So then, having said this, as far back as in 1893, Swami Vivekananda unfurled the banner of Vedanta in the West, and also made yoga familiar to the Westerners through his renowned treatise on Raja Yoga. After the great Swami, following in his footsteps, his Vedanta centers have been doing great work in disseminating Vedic wisdom in the West for many decades. Following the trail blazed by Swami Vivekananda, Many more personages and institutions have also been doing good work in this direction. And the contributions of Puja Swamiji in this regard are remarkable. It is worth mentioning that for decades in India and around the world, Puja Swamiji has been doing tremendous work, tirelessly disseminating the Vedic knowledge through his well-established institutions in India, both in India and the US. He has also taken keen interest in providing yoga training to aspirants through qualified yoga teachers in his Gurukulam here, Salisbury, Pennsylvania. In view of his total dedication to the dissemination of Vedic lore, besides the provision of study and practice of yoga, both of which were very dear to Swami Vivekananda, and in grateful acknowledgement of Puja Swamiji's greatest contribution to the cause of Hindu Dharma, the 6th edition of our book on Swami Dayananda is dedicated to Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and you will find a book and a picture there with these lines, and that is what the book is dedicated to Puja Swamiji. I must say here that literally it was Swami Vivekananda who brought me in contact with Puja Swamiji. You will wonder how it is. Inasmuch as we together participated in Washington in a program called the Global Vision 2000, held in 1993, for which I came first time to the US, celebrating the centenary of Swami Vivekananda's appearance at the Chicago Parliament of Religions in 1893. In fact, we were sitting together. I didn't know much about it. He was by my side, talking to, and we were sitting on the same platform. While Puja Swamiji spoke eloquently on the occasion about Vivekananda, I had the rare privilege of paying my reverent homage to Swami Vivekananda. Later, in the year 2000, when Puja Swamiji invited me to participate in the United Nations Millennium Peace Summit in New York, I also had the unique privilege of visiting his Ashvidya Gurukulam here in 2000, Salisbury, Pennsylvania, along with the other monastic members, delegates to the summit from India. We had about 100 Swamis in Air India in one plane load we came. And Swami invited all of them. We were seated here, some of you may have seen, and he honored us with one Spatikamala and Rudram, so many things. And I remember this all recorded in my book, where we were all formally honored in this very hall by Puja Swamiji himself. Since then, by his grace, I have been able to visit abroad from time to time to attend the various programs and conferences in the US. I have also been able to attend the annual AVG anniversary program and the other programs at the AVG, and every time Puja Swamiji and the Ashvidya Gurukulam have been very kind, helpful and supportive during my visit and stay here. Whatever knowledge, little knowledge of Vedanta I have gained is solely due to my participation from time to time in the lecture programs and Vedanta classes conducted by Puja Swamiji and his senior disciples who are the Acharyas and the Ashvidya Gurukulam. And before I conclude, the Vedanta I learned is in my own words this way: Naham karta asangoham, naham bhokta purnoham, akhanda sakshi chaitanyoham, chaitanyameva idam sarvam, naham bhokta aparichinna. This Vedanta is enough for me, and that's what I have learned, and I am thankful for that. I feel thrilled when I visualize in my mind how overjoyed Swami Vivekananda would have been if he were to visit Puja Swamiji's this Ashvidya Gurukulam at Pennsylvania, Salisbury, to see the great work done there for the past 25 years, now 29 years, in the service of disseminating Vedic knowledge in particular and Hindu Dharma and the Samaj in general. Let Puja Swamiji's benediction to my book speak. One will find significant lines revealing the source of inspiration behind the great work done by the Ashudya Gurukulam. And I conclude. This is written on October 19, 2011. Swami Vivekananda is looked upon by an informed Indian as a person who enshrined in himself all that is true and noble of the spiritual heritage of Bharat. His vision to make everyone see the beauty of oneness, love and harmony, backed by his tireless efforts to actualize it, is getting unfolded all over the world, not only through the mission and order he founded, but also through various other individuals and institutions who owe to his Swamiji's vision for their inspiration. Swami Jyotirbayananda, an ardent follower of the great monk, these are all Swamiji's words, having spent his entire life reading the works of Swami Vivekananda, has given us a big book containing everything worth knowing about Swami Vivekananda, covering the historical background of Swami Vivekananda, covering the historical background of his every inspiring speech. The book puts you to be a part of the audience addressed by the Swami. Tributes from all those who counted during Vivekananda's time presented in this book help us identify ourselves with their thoughts and realize the profundity of Swami's thinking. I wish this new edition becomes a valuable addition to every personal and public library in India and everywhere. Swami Dayananda. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Yes, being with Swamiji is mentioned at the Nitya Utsava Jail Festival. I enthusiastically began only 3 minutes now. I bore into some of the speaker. Namaskar, Swamiji. So next, the round of our board members. We have quite a few board members. Please do come and say a few words. To begin with, I request Swami Nirmanaji, please come. After that, all our board members are there one by one. Please come and say or offer your pronouns to Swamiji, whatever you would like to do. You are most welcome. So I will not call out the names because I don't want to miss out anybody's name. So I request now Swami Dayananda to come and get all the board members to say a few words. Thank you.
I'm not a board member. I'll just say a few words about really the global influence of Swamiji. When after my course, when I was in India for a longer period of time for other courses, there were students from Japan, Russia, China, New Zealand. I can't even think of Slovenia. I can't think of all the countries of where there are 3-year students in the courses in Anakati. So I don't know if you realize really the global influence of Swamiji. And what a draw, what a wonder it is. I mean, how he affected my life and all of yours, and how we affect other people's lives. And we used to think of Swamiji kind of as like a, what is that, Tanjore doll? You know, we had a lot of close calls before, and then pops back up again, and another spell of illness, and then it pops up again, and then finally, you know, but he's still with us. So, as I said, just thinking about the influence he's had on me and the people in our lives, and how we and all of you affect everyone's lives. And I think about his draw in terms of what even brought me to this area. You know, I was living here and he built the ashram in my backyard, 15 minutes away I was. And what even got me here, just the draw, I had no idea where Swami was or where India was. So anyway, I'm very grateful, and I'll leave you with the rest of the program.
Thank you, Swamiji. So next board members, begin with Avantika Ben, we have Piyush Bhai, we have our Pramod Deshmukh ji, and Lata, and Urmila Gujarati, Rakesh Sharma, and Prabhu Bhai Taylor, Janaki, and Harin Bhai, Fatima Ben. Anybody else that I have missed out their name? Good. So please, they can come together with spouse and say.
going to talk with other sannyasi. But Piyush and myself both came to Swamiji many years back. It's been 30 years now. We came very close to him. And the way we wanted him, he needed us also. From there on, whatever he wanted to do, I was there for him. And he has given us so much. That time I didn't realize it, because I was a very good friend of Swamiji. So I made a lot of enemies too, because I was too close. Swamiji said, because you are close to me, you will encounter many people. But I didn't know it would so be. At the end, what he gave us, what he told us, I think I can live with that. Swami said, I'll be with you and you'll be with me. And Piyush, you have done so much for me. All this life, whatever I have done, because of you too, were with me all the time. Piyush may not come and attend the classes and take notes and say things, but he is a free person. He doesn't have anything to gain from anybody, anything. Whoever wants, whatever they wanted, he was there and I was also with him. We live a very simple life and whatever Swamiji wanted, I wanted to fulfill that order. Nobody knows. And I got so many people. They heard me at the end, they don't know. My dearest friend is living. Friend, Guru, everything Father. We both have dedicated our life towards his cause. I'm sure a lot of people know that, appreciate that also. We didn't come here to gain name, nothing. You won't see our name anywhere. We wanted to do for him whatever he wanted to. Ratha project, we were there. His work in Manjakuri, we were there. We didn't take any name. People are taking name. We didn't come to him for name. I wanted some good love and he gave me that. That love will be there all the time. He said, I'll be with you, Avantika. Don't cry, don't lament, be joyous, always joyous. Give love and be big like me. I said, Swamiji, you're too big, I cannot be. Yes, you can be big. So now whatever time I have, now I have time, I think I will listen to him very carefully and live my life that way. It doesn't mean I have to give up everything. I live very simple way and I enjoy, I love people. People do not know. I really love everybody here. If I see something wrong, then I capture them. That's my savava. But if they come and talk to me properly why they are doing that, I will just allow, I'll be friendly. I don't want to take anything from anybody. I came here for Swamiji. Swamiji was there. He was backbone to us, backbone. And he always said, because of you, I could do so many things. Always he told. He didn't want us to be in the front and name and nothing. You won't see anywhere our name. So anyway, it's good. We met such a person in our life. Guru Shavai. To me, he was mostly very big friend. Now he will be my Guru. Now I'll take his teaching and go on. Namaste. And you also
I took a lot of time. Please come. It's so nice to see everybody here to give a tribute to great Mahatma Pujya Swamiji. You know, I have a lot of stories for him, with him, since I spent a lot of time. Just about a couple of years ago, this place was built about, in 90s, or just after the ashram started. At that time, this hall looked very adequate and was sufficient for all the people who came for all the programs ashram was offering. And he always wanted to, have a bigger facility so that a larger number of people can come and understand what our teachings are. And he initiated the idea of putting a facility which can hold about 800 people. I said, Swamiji, that's too many people, and it's going to be very expensive, and you don't need, in Vedanta, you don't get a crowd like that. Anyway, after convincing him and discussing, finally, we came up with, 400 facility, lecture hall, dining hall, a brand new facility. And he was very happy. And, he asked engineering firm to draw in France and everything, but there was a lot of controversy. And, we always discuss with Swamiji pros and cons. As Swami Dayananda says, he had a qualification, no qualification, he said. He says he only went to matriculate. Can you imagine what he has done with this qualification in 30 years? He built 4 beautiful facilities for learning. And so I said, Swamiji, this is America and we don't need, to unnecessarily create, this extra building. But anyway, this was his desire. So these things going on back and forth. One day he calls me and Avantika and Anand Gupta ji, who was, the project person that time, and our Sudhatma ji and Gary. So he called us in his meeting room. He says, Piyush, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this project. I said, why Swamiji? He says, if you say no, I'm not going to do this project. I said, Swamiji, let me sleep on it and I'll let you know tomorrow. So I went to my room and quietly I decided, who am I to stop the growth of this beautiful facility and beautiful dream of Swamiji? And I agreed. I said, Swamiji, I have complete support and we'll do that. And so now, to give, the big, salutation like you give to Mahatma, like 21 salute gun, we have a lot of, bulldozers there. So this is where we really would buy. So I want you to, he created all these infrastructures and it's our job. We are the torch bearers. We will carry forward his work and let's make collectively this beautiful hall and we have ways, and that's my humble request to all of you to contribute on this facility and fulfill his dream, and so we can give this gift to our Puja beloved Swamiji. Thank you again for coming and taking that.
Beloved, please come. Anyone, board member Harinbhai, Ashok ji, Pratima Ben, and Rakesh Sharma, Raghuram. I don't want to call, make a wrong list of anybody's name, so please come and be here and say a few words. Gurumala ji.
Can't talk about Swamiji, it's like showing the lamp to the sun. So I just want to say my devoted pranam Swamiji, give us my strength and I'll say.
Thank you very much. Now, Prabhu Bhai and Janaki Ben, Taranto. Ramanji, Geeta.
Puja Swamiji, I don't know what to say. My koti pranams to you from Janki, Audi, Tapan and Gauri.
Harinbhai, Pratima Ben, you can stand up and at least, yeah. Ashok Bhai, Ashok ji, so you are board member. Katada, board member. Is Pramod Bhai, Lata Ben is there? Pramod ji, Lata Deshmukh, okay, now Raghuram ji will have to speak.
Hari Om. I'm Rakesh Sharma. I met Swamiji last on September 5th in Rishikesh, and after seeing him I thought that sooner he leaves better it is. It was a very, very difficult sight to see, but fortunately he agreed to do dialysis and that made the difference. Because he was in such a bad shape. I met him first in 1979 when I organized his talk in IIT Kanpur. At that time he was so energetic and he was full of life, and it was very difficult to see him in that situation on August 5th. So, on September 5th. So I asked him, Swamiji, whether you can continue with this because you are in so much pain. So there is somebody called Karveji who has some supernatural power. So I called him and asked Karveji to talk to Swamiji. And Swamiji says it's over, no more dialysis. But Karveji is also very persistent, and he kept on saying to Swamiji, please do one more and you will be all right. And he agreed. And that was the very good thing that they happened. In the evening, they started, in the night actually, they started because Sheila Balaji brought the whole the dialysis machine there. And then since 85 when he did the Ved Mandir class, I attended that meeting, and then after Bloomberg University meeting, I think we had first class in that room which is now dining room. And then that is when we found out that Mr. Nandakishore Gujarati, Mrs. Gujarati's husband, Pim Plaskar and Soma Sundaram, these three people came up and gave a deposit for this ashram. Then everything started. First check, when Piyush Bhai came, he gave the first check and he told me, $15,000. This is big deal. And that was, Piyush Bhai didn't even know Swamiji. He just said, I like this. He wrote $15,000 check, and it was like a 15 million check at that time, Swamiji. I was looking after all doing whatever I could do for finances. So I'm in finance, so he was very, very happy to see Piyush Bhai. And I remember this Tom and Paul, when they were erecting this hall, he was there to direct all of us. He says, what they say, Dam laga ke hoshiar in India, and here they had a similar thing, and all weekend students were there. This was erected, and so is the door. If you see the door, it is made out of lotus, and you will see every day how this door is coming up for the temple. That was, initially we didn't have temple, this was added in 91, so it has been a great institution, great ideas, and I bow to a great soul. Thank you.
Now, Dr. Harim Bhai and Pratima Joshi.
Hari Om, Swami and Swami. In 1970s, when I was here in this country, my brother from India in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, this was in early 70s, he wrote me a letter saying that if you ever get a chance, listen to Swami Dayananda Saraswati. And then he would write me all the abstracts of the lectures that he heard. I never got a chance until in 1980s, late 80s, when he came to Philadelphia area. I heard him in a couple of lectures, and then again got into the routine, daily work, and never got a chance until 1992. We had 1 week vacation which we had to cancel, and by default, we saw that there was Katha Upanishad, and Haran and I ended up here. There was hardly anything. There were Boy Scout cabins. You had to bring your comforters. and your bed sheets and pillows and everything. And Haran said, what are we doing? And I said, well, and since 1970s, this is on my mind and we got a chance, let's go. So he said, I'm not going to last for at the most 2 or 3 days. That's what he said. And then in the very first lecture, when Swamiji gave the very first lecture, he said to me after the lecture, would this Swamiji come to our place, our home? And he said, for some reason, I feel he's Bhagwan. I said, and I never invited any Swamis or anybody at our home. I don't know even how to receive them. So finally, I got, then at the end of the retreat, I went to Swamini Sri Dayananda because in her previous life, she was the manager looking after this, and I said, would Puja Swamiji come to our place for dinner or lunch? And she said, she smiled and she said, you say Diksha. So that much ignorant I was. And then I said, all right. So he said, he's very easy to approach. Why don't you go and ask him? And I said, no, I feel intimidated. I don't know how to ask. So then at the end of the retreat, when we went for Guru Dakshina, Swamiji said, I will come to your home. I don't know, this was our first exposure. How he recognized us, I do not know. But Haran said, after we went out, he said, I thought Bhagavan said that I'm coming to your home. So this was our, so to speak, initiation into Vedanta. And we have been coming since then. He has been lasting for, he said that he was going to last for 2 or 3 days, but we lasted for 23 years.
When first time Puja Swamiji had problem with his heart, he was admitted in state hospital there, and we went to see him. And I asked Puja Swamiji, Swamiji, how are you feeling? And he said, Haran, you are a vascular surgeon. Let me show you my angiogram. And he showed me the arteriogram, coronary arteriogram. He said, look at this. Ganga is flowing from north to south now. Thank you.
Thank you all, the board members. Any board members would like to come? Anu Amma, is there Anu Amma, you want to come say something? Soma Sundaram, please come. We are not testing your patience. This is a day dedicated for Swami, so we don't mind even preparing dinner for you if you stay back. Okay, thank you. No guests allowed because it's restricted to board members. So because next we have a couple of important speakers. One is Swami Tattvadananji. I would like to give him time that he wants. And we have Swami Vitatmaji. The important one is Puja Swamiji's, the video, teacher of teachers. We don't want to miss it. So please don't worry, we'll try to finish it as soon as possible. Be patient. Thank you.
I've been very fortunate to have met Swamiji in my life. It was through my mother. She was the only South Indian when Swamiji came to Lehigh Valley, and she was asked to prepare his lunch. And so I used to go with him, and that's when I met him. And that was even before the ashram was started. And it was his love and his humility that really attracted me towards him. I knew nothing of Vedanta, nothing of Sanskrit before I met him, and the little I know, I owe to him and to the teachers now that are continuing his message. He's been a big influence in my life. He's made me a better person in every way, and I just can't thank him enough, and he lives me.
Thank you very much. Board members, with your permission, can I move on to the next one? Or if anyone is still preparing to say a few things, board members. Go ahead. Pramodji is not around. Okay. Right. So next would be our important speaker today, Swami Dayananda. Before that, I would say Pujya Swamiji's life and contributions to every field of life has been great celebration. Keeping this thought in spirit, our Swamini Sri Vidyananda, my wife Samata, both have brought out Pujya Swamiji. All of us, through their artistic skills, Pujya Swamiji alive with the different pictures and whatnot. Give them a big round of applause. And thanks to panel of doctors and our personal thanks to Suresh and all other people who took care of Swamiji here and back in India till last moment. We are all grateful to them. So next we'll move on to the program. Swami Dayananda Swamiji, there is no restriction for you. Please talk as much as you would like. People love to hear.
Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Atmaswarupa Bandhugana. Firstly, I would congratulate Shri Shuddhatma and his colleagues who have done a great job. The pictorial representation of Pujya Swamiji's life and contributions was very exhaustive and very complete. And also every other aspect of this program is done very meticulously. They have planned a very wonderful way. Many people have spoken wonderful things about Pujya Swamiji. However much we speak, it is like touching the tip of the iceberg. His contributions will be celebrated by the Hindu society for decades or even centuries to come. Back in India, the great organizations like Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and Vishwa Hindu Parishad, they were working in the Hindu society for decades. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh from 1925 and VHP from 1967. Yet they have benefited immensely by the contribution of Pujya Swamiji. For example, when Swamiji declared in Chennai, when I was also around, conversion is violence, a small expression, a very simple expression, that RSS and VHP have taken that expression like a Maha Mantra, and at least to some extent they could control the tide of conversions. So that way, some of the ideas given by Swamiji will be celebrated by the Hindu society for times to come. And Hindu society will ever remain grateful to the great Mahatma Pujya Swamiji. I am sure we all enjoyed this program, and so I request Shri Shuddhatma to proceed further. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Swamiji, for accommodating all of us. Good, now the next program is a recorded message of Swami Dayananda from Ahmedabad. It's going to be for 10 minutes. Thank you. Please turn toward this screen.